Some coincidences are so strange. They don't feel random at all. From a pandemic simulation that mirrored real-world chaos, to a ship named Titan that went down. Just like its infamous namesake, these aren't urban legends. These are real-world coincidences connected to global events, war, disaster, and mystery. And by the end you'll ask yourself, was this fate, warning, or something darker? October 2019. Just 2 months before the first COVID-19 case was reported in Wuhan, China, a global pandemic simulation called Event 201 was hosted in New York. Sponsored by the World Economic Forum, the Gates Foundation, and Johns Hopkins, the exercise imagined a coronavirus originating from bats, spreading through global travel and shutting down entire economies. Sound familiar? Event 201 included mock news clips, fake government briefings, and expert discussions, all eerily accurate to what would unfold just weeks later. Lockdowns, overwhelmed hospitals, disinformation, supply chain chaos, it was all there. When COVID-19 exploded in real life shortly after, some saw it as pure coincidence. Others saw it as too close for comfort. Was it foresight? Or did we know more than we admitted? In 2023, the world watched in horror as a deep-sea submersible named Titan vanished during a dive to the wreck of the Titanic. Within days it was confirmed, the sub had imploded, killing all 5 aboard. The name Titan struck a nerve, not just because of the Titanic connection, but because of a novel from 1898 titled Futility, written 14 years before the Titanic ever set sail. The novel? It told the story of an unsinkable ship named the Titan that hit an iceberg and sank in the North Atlantic. It had nearly identical dimensions, it lacked lifeboats, and it sank in April, just like the real Titanic. Over a century later, a real-life sub called Titan dies while visiting the wreck of that very ship. Is that poetic tragedy, or something more sinister about history repeating itself? In 2014, Malaysia Airlines suffered 2 of the most devastating aviation disasters in history, just 4 months apart. First, flight MH370 vanished over the Indian Ocean with 239 people on board. The plane was never found. No wreckage, no survivors, just mystery. Then came flight MH17. In July 2014, it was shot down over war-torn Ukraine, killing everyone on board. A casualty of geopolitical conflict. Same airline, same year. 2 different types of tragedy. And here's the eerie twist. Some passengers had reportedly changed flights at the last minute, only to board the doomed planes. One Dutch cyclist was scheduled to fly both MH370 and MH17 but cancelled both trips at the last minute. He survived by sheer luck. Can that be chalked up to coincidence, or are there patterns we're missing? This one reads like a riddle, but it's real. Abraham Lincoln was elected in 1860. John F. Kennedy, 1960. Both were assassinated while in office. Lincoln in a theater, Kennedy in a car named Lincoln. Both were shot on a Friday, in the presence of their wives, and each assassin was killed before trial. Lincoln was succeeded by Andrew Johnson, born in 1808. Kennedy was succeeded by Lyndon B. Johnson, born in 1908. Lincoln's secretary was reportedly named Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary? Lincoln. These facts are documented, and they've fueled decades of theories. Is this a statistical fluke, or something encoded in American destiny? In 1995, author Tom Clancy published a political thriller titled Debt of Honor. The plot? A disgruntled pilot crashes a jet into the U.S. Capitol, killing the president and much of Congress. It was fiction, until September 11, 2011, when hijacked planes were used as weapons against the United States, including one intended for the Capitol, just like Clancy wrote. In a separate case, FEMA ran a terrorism response drill in New York City the very morning of 9/11s, focused on plane attacks. That coincidence made headlines and triggered years of speculation. Were these just parallels, or does fiction have a way of foreshadowing reality? Sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. These coincidences aren't just strange, they connect to our history, our fears, and sometimes our future. What do you think? Are these coincidences just bizarre twists of fate, or signs we've ignored before disaster struck? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if this video shook you even a little, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Because sometimes, looking back is the only way to see what's coming.